one of us will end up on there as far as that goes to move forward. But I just want to say, pretty much what all of you said, is that there's so many different aspects coming in here. It was impossible, and when I talked to each of these guys after I met with you, Meg, it's impossible to say, well, here's where we're going to get the money from, because there's 27, like you said, in the application. You can't just put down some fairy tale that you think is going to get you $50,000 a year if you haven't done it already. So, but there is, and I think there's probably more people rallied around SRI right now than anything as far as positive things in the city. So, thank you very much for that. I'm looking forward to working with you. Okay, open discussion. Anybody have anything particular you want to bring up? Just raise your hand and identify yourself, Chief.
Connie Beagle wanted us to point out that this coming month, August 6th, will be National Night Out at Cameron Park. We'll be setting up at 3, and we'll start the events at 5 and run still 9 o'clock.
When was that, August the?
August 6th. Tuesday, first Tuesday.
You read all those signs that might be hung on it, where do you know that?
Connie, can I ask you, is it safe to say you're looking for any sort of volunteer help you can get?
Yes. Yes, I am.
So certainly for anyone in the audience tonight, please, if it's something that you would be interested in helping Connie with, she certainly would appreciate an extra set of hands or two. So please, if you would, help her out. She's done a fantastic job managing that event for the city for a long time.
How many years you been running that county? You don't know. Too many, right?
When it first started.
30 years, 9 moons
The
ago.
one and only.
Connie, we gotta get that alleyway named behind your house for you. So, I'll get with Jim, and we'll get that searched up and get it done.
And she needs a street light back there too.
What's that?
Need to get a street light and a camera back there too.
And then he also wants it, the street cleaner to come down too. So I guess you're talking to Mike, huh?
All right, thank you very much, Connie.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex, yes,
Council, we provided some information to you from the Planning Commission regarding the grant that SRI wants to submit to DCED. They came to our meeting on Thursday, Megan did, and we had to table the discussion to get more information off Megan, and we recessed the meeting till this Thursday. We're going to be meeting with her at 1 o'clock to finalize. So we believe that we're comfortable with what she's provided to us, and I think it ties right into what your discussion was earlier about SRI and the need for a manager and some other parts of this. The gist of it is that they want to secure the Albright Church, which is in the Old Town, downtown area, and they want to turn that into a community arts center, right? And we think it's a really good idea, and we cited several areas within the comprehensive plan that was approved by council in the write-up to you. I believe what we're asking for right now is that you would pass a tentative resolution to accept our letter that we'll probably approve on Thursday, so that Megan can get that information put into the grant, because she has a deadline she's working on for, I believe it's July 31st, right? For her to submit this. And, you know, Paul, the chairman, I'll be glad to refer to him.
Hello, I'm Paul Uhal, and I'd like to thank Mr. Rowland for his excellent summary of this information. Those of us who have had the chance to look at that plan and all the other documents know that it can be rather burdensome. There are many parts of that plan I was not in favor of originally. There were a lot of what I thought were pie-in-the-sky kinds of things. As I looked this over, and as Mr. Alex said, we didn't know about this until Thursday. This proposal on the Albright Church just seems to be perfect as far as the plan is concerned. And what I would like to do, and I'll try to be brief and yet go over, list you some pages here so that you can take a look at these things if you have time to look at the plan and see some of the things that her proposal seems to fit perfectly with. And for example, in the background studies, this booklet here, page 36, the very first thing that is recommended to be renovated and so on is the Albright Church. Page 96 emphasizes the role of SRI. Page 114 calls for the reevaluation of current parking requirements. This could be a major problem for us. At our meeting, Mike pointed out that the church was grandfathered in terms of the number of spaces required. We're going to have to try to find a way to work around that if this plan is going to work. And I'm not exactly sure. As Mr. Alex said, we're going to be meeting on Thursday, and maybe by then Mike will have some ideas and so on. There were many evaluations of the draft of the plan, and I think the best one was by Jamie Schroeder. And she pointed out a number of things. Many of them brought changes in the ultimate plan. She suggested prospective funding for each item. They kind of poo-pooed that in the plan, but this proposal does exactly that. There is a timeline for what is to be done, what is to be spent, and proposed funding for each of them. And to my knowledge, and you can correct me on this, I don't think there's any of our money going to be invested in that. Is that correct?
But
That's my
this is
understanding.
private funds, it's
Yeah.
supposed to come from private funds. We will have a hand in managing it, but there is a budget item there for some management fees, which actually is part of our budget to help fund that position.
Yeah, I believe over half of the money that she's looking for, if I may.
Go ahead.
Over half of the money that she's looking for is in-kind dollars, either through tax credits or through donations, from the way I read the budget and the information that she gave us. The other part of it is the grant that she's actually seeking through DCED for this project. So all in all, I think that, financially, they've put together a pretty good plan. And I believe that if this gets through, and it does meet DCED requirements, I think as Mr. U-Haul was saying, they're going to have a really nice project.
And if I may continue, Jamie called for specifics for the project action. The revised plan incorporated this idea on page 163 and 164. Jamie also called for specific priorities that are doable right now. The Albright project does this. And this was big for me as far as the overall plan. Jamie suggested focus more on attainable goals, less on dream projects. The boutique hotel was one that really bugged me. She calls for the creation of business opportunities and jobs. The plan does, I'm sorry, on page 140. 142, business location assistance. Numbers 5 and 6, work with SRI. 143, encourage arts and professional services. 144, enhance the city's image. 144 also, number 3, foster mixed-use development. There again, I think all of this is in the plan. 154, emphasizing the role of SRI. In conclusion, I think it offers everything in terms of specifics and so on. I think we should do everything we can to try to make it work. And we are meeting here at 1 o'clock Thursday. We put our meeting into recess, so it will still be an official meeting. And we encourage any of you to come along and throw any questions you have at SRI and at us, and help us come to a way that I think this would be an excellent project to renovate a building. And I don't know, coming from the coal region, I'm familiar with the difficulty you have in trying to make use of churches and so on. This is a perfect opportunity to take an empty building, I think, and make it work, if we can make it work under the guidelines of the proposals we have. Thank you. Megan, do you have anything to add?
Very much. Clearly, I know John Shipman's been a major front runner in this thing. This has been going on for months and months and months, and the need for this grant is clear to make this project go. And I'll be honest with you, Paul, I don't know that the city can maintain this project, but it's very exciting. To me, it's the next biggest thing from the riverfront. This could be huge for people. I'm sure everybody, maybe not, has been in that building, but it's such a unique building, such opportunities, various opportunities, and I really do feel that the parking is not one of your biggest issues. We're going to be able to take care of that.
Actually, the parking, parking isn't as big of an issue after reading the plan, because part of it is the walkability of using the downtown area and getting more people to move around freely, which would then generate more business for down the Market Street area. As far as the sustainability that you talked about, Mayor, I believe in our discussions with Megan that the in-kind efforts that the businesses are going to provide are going to help sustain that for a number of years. So I think, once they secure the grant, get that grant, they're getting the commitments already from the private industries and the private people to be able to sustain this. And I think at that point, you're going to have a win-win situation in your hands with a community arts center. Once the renovations is done, you've got the universities, you got Susquehanna, Bucknell, you got Bloomsburg, you got the BTE up there. We have a rock star in front of us right here, with Brad doing a production the other day, and you'll be able to pull all that together and tie the educational basis into this too. Instead of using the high school for summer activities, you could use this and expand it into something a lot more and tie it into the riverfront properties.
I agree.
And it's not my understanding the city would have to sustain this. I thought
Right.
once it got going, it was going to be self-sustaining through the various grants.
Yeah, I didn't mean the city, I meant the community itself.
Right.
You remember the old Rockwell Center?
Oh, I see.
remember going up there a lot of times,
Right.
but again, the diversity here is just, it's unending right now. There's all kinds of opportunities in there,
Right.
and I agree with you.
But I
I'm
think-
just trying to emphasize the fact that it's an exciting project, it really
I
is.
think we don't have to, I think you don't want to look at just the town or the city sustaining this, but the growth potential of bringing people from the outside in to get more people to want to do things for the city and support it.
It says here in the paper.
Mr. Alex, back to the parking. The city has kind of addressed it. Dave has already, as Wise Markets donated that parcel, the old warehouse, that's going to become parking. And he's also working on another parcel. And of course, this other parcel will be donated also. So we are working on the parking on the city side.
Right.
But what Paul just said, and you said, long-term, it's going to be how they say, a diamond in the rough. And we just have to take it and polish it.
Well, but, on the other.
I've been talking about argument about it too, Spank, so we're on the same page with that too. So,
I mean, one of the nice things about what they're trying to do is, if you do put a community arts center in there, and you have plays or different things, especially around the holidays, what nicer way than to walk down through town and see the lights and move over this way. I think from a planning standpoint for us, I think it's a great idea. And we're now, moving to try to finalize this on Thursday. However, the reason we're here to talk to you tonight is because if we do approve this, which I don't think there's going to be any doubt about it, we need council to prepare a letter right away to support our support of that, so that she can get the grant in.
That's for sure.
So if you could do a tentative resolution or a tentative motion to accept what we're saying tonight, with the caveat that we would pass this on Thursday, I think it would be
Just a little heads up, we have a kind of a unique situation with DCED right now too, in that their Secretary Alan Walker is actually from central Pennsylvania. He grew up in the Clearfield area. So he's very familiar with central PA and our issues that we have in rural markets, even Sunbury being a little bit of a larger city within that area. And I've had conversations with him about some of the things that he's looking for. Right now, the key is for us to kind of narrow that scope of work and find a niche for our community arts center, have it stand out from the thousands of other applications for the exact same type of facility in other communities around the area, that make it a regional center that has an appeal beyond just our city and Northumberland County, maybe an appeal to the surrounding counties and their needs as well, and even a niche that would be unique from the performing arts centers that we do have already at Susquehanna and Bucknell. What need can this facility provide that those do not? And in terms of funding, the reality of it is grants are getting fewer and fewer. DCED's monies are getting harder to tap into. So having that really detailed business plan is gonna help you a lot. In terms of what the city can provide immediately, just keep in mind that what we do know is that we're currently, at least annually, in line to get our block grant funds. Just like we committed for multiple years those block grant funds to the Riverfront project to help give that some traction. Like Dave's point, Jim's, this is kind of the next big thing. I think the city's commitment to block grant funds for subsequent years in very large amounts, not just 15, 20,000, but we're talking maybe $100,000 worth of commitment or more out of that money each year to this project is going to be important to making it happen. In any way that those monies can be applied. And we realize that there's some ways they can be used and some ways they can't. We got to get really creative. But we have to show matching funds to this as quickly as possible. And not just a letter from the city, but certainly a letter from Linda. We have to have certainly as much legislative support lined up for this as possible. And even if we can get some letters from surrounding communities to talk about the importance of it too, that all helps in our application.
I don't disagree with anything you said, Mr. Snyder. However, I think, I'm hoping that Megan can say that and listen to what you said. I think one of the unique parts of this project is the fact that you have a large, over half of what the budget's going to be is going to be in kind. And how many places have those kind of commitments already that moving forward to do a project like this, to bring the community and private sector together, that's unique in itself. And that's something that doesn't happen a lot.
And unfortunately, we've not seen the plan yet, but.
May I add one more thing? I think, to me, maybe I'm not the great artistic person, that was important to me, but not as important as the idea that I look at this as kind of almost a business incubator and bringing educational things and so on. So there's a lot more than just a community arts center that would be available then. And I think we have to keep that in mind. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Right, so, correct, and throw something in here if you need. What we need, what the motion will be is that the Sunbury City Council supports the Sunbury Planning Commission's
Support of this project.
support of the application being submitted by SRI for the position, for the Community Arts Center Development Project.
Yes.
That's a motion, I don't want to repeat it the second time.
Persing.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Bartello.
Yes.
Troop.
Yes.
Ister.
Clearly thank everybody for what's happened up to this point and continuing on. Good luck with Thursday. But this is the city project right now. We just launched the city project.
Can I make
Megan,
two
yes, you may.
One comment I want to affirm is that this project is actually being funded privately. It's a tax credit program. We wanted to take the grant out of our terminology, not that we won't need funds to do some other things, some 1 and 2, small alternate options that we hope to do, but the bulk of this will be done from private money. We have 2 organizations that are committed to the project and will donate $50,000 a year over the next 6 years in order to support this project. So that money isn't coming out, won't have to come out of the city, won't have to come out of private individuals, but and those places will receive a tax credit for a large percentage of the money they've donated to this project. So we also won't be required, as long as we don't accept other grant money in conjunction with this, we won't have to follow the wage standards.
Wow.
Very terminology, but because it's private funds.
Prevailing wages.
Yeah, so that's kind of very exciting because that will reduce the overall cost of the project. So we're trying to keep that. The other thing I want to say is, the part of the reason the planning commission's here is one of the line items in DCED's list of many things they request of us is they want approval that this project is within the comprehensive land use plan. So the planning commission has to provide that. And then we also have to have approval from zoning saying that, that we fall within zoning in order to do this project, which it doesn't currently for the parking issues. So we are currently approaching zoning for this project.
Library went in, they lost it.
For the temporary, we're hoping to build more parking, but right now,
Enforcement in our street.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Looking forward to talking about this at future meetings. And again, just Paul, you invited everybody who wants to come on Thursday.
Absolutely, yeah.
What
It's
time's
gonna be in
that?
this room, so there'll be plenty of room.
What time is that?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Refreshments will not be served.
Okay, thank you very much again. Okay, audience comment? Yes, sir.
I have one. I live up in 1201 Innocent Avenue, and when it rains, I get flooded. They say I don't know what I'm talking about, but they took a storm sewer out when they put the curbing in. And ever since that, we've been getting flooded.
They know that,
And it is 10 inches of water to the curb in the top of it.
you know that we're speaking with municipal authority. Municipal authority is making a plan for that to enlarge it. And it's like an $8 or $10 million project to do what they have to do, so it's on a list of projects they have, but it is being addressed through them. I mean, they know all about that flooding up there, trust me.
I mean,
And I
really,
spoke to Danny many a times about it, and it's there and it's gonna happen, but it's just not gonna happen, it's not figured because of the cost of the project itself. It's done.
I think a lot of the trouble is on Ready Street,
That's correct.
the pipes are too small. They should have at least a 4 or 6 foot pipe in there.
That's
And
the
that would
whole,
take care
whole
of
view
a
of the
lot of
project is that.
it. A lot of them.
That's why it's the high cost of a project. And they're gonna try to get it, but they're prioritizing it, and it is on the list to get done. I mean, we're having problems on Reagan Street, we're having some problems with it because of the hard, unusual rain that we're getting lately. We really are.
Back when Merle Phillips was in office, we done a study, PennDOT, and it wasn't cost effective for them to take and redo Reagan Street because of the underpass. Of course, that's where the bottleneck is, they're out to the pump station. So municipal authority right now is on their own at the present time. I know they're looking for grants and so forth.
Yeah, it's on there, they're gonna do it as soon as they possibly can.
And thank you.
Anyone else? I want to bring everybody's attention to Music in Cameron Park on July 23rd. Rem Snyder Wagner, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, July 30th, the Singing Mailman, August the 6th, and Kirstetter Band. Jim, you joined with Rockefeller Township, you want to talk about that?
I want to get some more information to go to that. We're working with Bradley.
Yeah, we've been doing Brad. I'd like to have an announcement, if I could too.
Go
I'd
ahead.
like to thank Mrs. Campbell for all the help she put into this beautiful picture that we have up behind us here. And I want to say thank you very much for, that's very nice.
That looks excellent, excellent.
The, with Schindler's,
Yes,
Schindler's done it free of charge, am I correct?
yes.
Took it apart, cleaned the photograph, redid the frame, cleaned everything, and of course, gave it back to Mrs. Campbell, and now he's doing some other work for us.
You've got 6 of them he's working on.
6 of them. So when we're all done, we'll have to really give you a big party or something, because you'll take it apart.
Big old hug for you.
I love parties.
You know, she'd say about
No, just say it was a
So
hug.
I'm gonna have
And the second thing, I'd like to say one more thing, that trailer on Miller Street down there will probably be gone by the end of the week.
I was just asking about that the other day.
Yes, 11 days, I think was the day we went to business, and it will be torn up and gone, so we're planning on
If
doing it.
anybody asks me, I always say, yes, the mayor, and that's you. Down there, and, yeah. One thing I know you guys, I just want to thank everybody for helping for the fireworks. I think we had a real nice day. The fireworks were fantastic.
I'd like to say on that, Dwight, a bunch of people from Berwick came down and Ely'sburg that totally enjoyed themselves, and they were up at Millville before, so they're better than Millville. So, you know, I mean, they came down planning on down next year. However, I noticed this year that it was up as high, and the parking lot was covered with debris.
Well, the cloud cover was a factor, they told me.
But I never had debris before over a year like that.
Well, next time wear a hat.
Yeah.
Well, that changes every year, because I know there's some years like the ball fields are covered, then next year there's nothing on it at all, so I don't know, if maybe it's the wind, that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, it was just odd that it came out here and there was big chunks all over.
Yeah, it's like plastic, it looks like plastic.
Well, the kids had a good time, the little kids and the ice cream. It's a long time since the little kids say, No more ice cream. Ice cream, no
So
more.
you're gonna know.
Oh, it's about 3,000 pieces.
I want to thank everybody for coming. Meeting's adjourned.